gentlemen, I'm absolutely honored in this podcast session to have my favorite person on the planet, Nick Vujicic here. As you can tell, I'm not really ready for this podcast because I got a last minute call saying Nick is in Dubai and he wants to meet us. So I'm absolutely honored to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dariush, and hello to all the subscribers.
Thank you. So where in the world have you been? What brings you here?
Goodness gracious, I've been traveling quite a lot, 7 countries in 23 days. That's this current tour. One of them has nothing to do with business, but the other do. And we're actually meeting government officials from different parts of the world, introducing social emotional learning curriculum for the young people. There is an awareness more and more around the world that we need to not just teach academics, but values, and helping people to overcome their maybe lack of confidence and self-esteem issues. And then we have bullying issues as well that we kind of cover. And so from an American point of view, when I was there 2 weeks ago, going back in another 2 weeks, it's actually a long trip for me. In America, we were doing a tour, Rise Above Bullying tour, with state governments. And we had around 500,000 students approximately going to be engaged even after the event, which is fantastic. And then I was, as you know, I have a non-profit organization and I get to talk about my faith. And so I did 3 or 4 countries that way and met 3 presidents and prime ministers. And from Europe, I came to Dubai today to be with the Minister of Education in the Education Department, Her Excellency. It was wonderful to be with her and her team today. And so I love Dubai, and I know Dubai loves me, and I am just so thankful that I feel in my heart that this is just the beginning of Nick coming back to Dubai again and again and again.
We'd love to have you back.
Thank you.
When you realized that you were such a massive influencer, I just picked you up from the taxi and somebody in the street stopped and thanked you for your videos and your to help people's lives and influence them in such a positive way. When did you realize that you had this power?
Do you know, it's just been an incredible thing. It starts with just the people's reaction from the stage that I can see, and I look them in their eyes and I see their change and a light that was now instilled, and they find hope and they find the ability to keep on going. From an individual in a crowd setting to then any time that I did a project like the Butterfly Circus short film that I was in, or a book, or a music video. Just incredible story. That woman that I met here in Dubai, she tried to commit suicide and that music video saved her life. It's just absolutely incredible. So I think it was just more and more the awareness, but all of a sudden it just exploded, and we got quite a brand worldwide. We just we didn't even do any marketing for it, and it just kept growing and growing, and very thankful. It's been hard work, it's been difficult, but man, what a joy to know that you can instill hope in other people's lives.
Amazing, really, really amazing. And I feel I'm blessed to got to know you through funny circumstances, yes? But I spent good 48 hours with you, and what I notice is how humble you are, and whatever it is, you give time to every single person you meet. And I know you were exhausted last time you met. How'd you do it? And I see other stars who don't have as much influence as you have, not being as humble as you are. And you just take it in your stride. Please explain. And because when you wake up in the morning, you have a lot more challenges than most people do.
Sure.
How do you keep that humbleness?
You know what? First of all, you could say that it's a forceful humility, if you will, that the fact that I cannot do anything or everything on my own. Let's say that I can do many things, but there are still some things that I wish I could still do, right? So you got the circumstance, but really what it does come down to is the foundation of values and attitudes that my parents instilled in me. That they didn't treat me special. They didn't even get me things that I wanted from the store. We would get a birthday gift once a year, and if I wanted something else, I have to earn it. And it taught me so much. And in that, also knowing that my parents were very poor. They were in refugee camps, fleeing former Yugoslavia in 1960s. So they helped me to remember the poor, remember those who have less than you.
Yes.
Don't be angry for what you don't have. Be thankful for what you do have. So I have to say, I'm thankful that in my spiritual part of my life as well, that God keeps me humble, because it's actually a prayer of mine. And the moment you become prideful and you think that you're more important than someone else, that's when you kind of hit a limit as to your full potential, in my point of view. And my wife, she's incredibly encouraging, and she's just the fact of how much she loves me is humbling, and the beauty in my children's lives is humbling. And so you can't muster up positivity or a great plan to do all this. I'm humbled because I know there's a greater designer for my life.
Amazing. And notice how close you are in your family. I believe that what you send out is you attract. So how did you meet your wife? You were so compatible and so much love between you and your family.
You know what? It was a time in my life where I was on a plane every third day. So I've done 2,500 airplane rides. You do kilometers out here in Dubai, right?
Yes.
So 5 million kilometers I've been around the world on a plane at 39,000 feet. It was just happened to be, right?
She's not cabin crew, is she?
No, she's not. Happened to be one of the speeches was recorded, uploaded on YouTube, that I mentioned I want to meet Sir Richard Branson. Someone calls my office and says, let's make it happen. I'm going to be with him. Why don't you come with me? Great. So we go there and we meet, and the person that brought me there also brought some of his friends. One of them was a former boss of my wife. And very thankful that she and I connected and stayed in touch. And she said, I know who your Japanese wife's going to be. And I said, just relax. I'll meet anyone you want, but just relax. I don't have time to get into the story, but she actually didn't want to connect me with my wife, but my wife's sister. My wife at the time had a boyfriend. So it's a complicated story that has amazing ups and downs, but really in the end, her sister is happily married today with 2 children. And me and my wife, when I found out she had a boyfriend and I met him, I wasn't so impressed.
With who?
With him. Yeah. And I said, are you going to marry him? She said, no.
Really?
So I said, well, tell me more. So I'm like, okay. So then she explained things. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. She says, but I felt something with you. And she said, I've never felt anything like that. She said, I've been praying. I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to really think, what's going on. I said, well, I'm glad that you felt the same. She said, well, what do you do? What do we do? I said, we kill it. That's it. It's done. It's finished. No phone, no text, no email. If we're supposed to be together, we don't even have to be in contact. And I happened to go back to where she was living at the time, Dallas, Texas. And it was in a group setting, and we locked eyes, and the chemistry was just, forget it. And we're like, all right, we can't ignore this. So we developed a friendship. We were dating for 12 months. And all the entrepreneurs.
You lived in California?
I was living in California. She was living in Dallas, Texas. And your entrepreneurial listeners would appreciate this. I lost all my money January 2011. Just 5 or 6 different variables that happened within 21 days of my life, including someone taking money from me. And it was very hard. It was just a learning curve for me, bit off more than I could chew, cash flow crisis, and was crying like a baby. What happened? Finally got to tell my wife that I lost all my money. She said, don't worry, I'll get a nursing job and support the both of us. And that's when I knew that she was going to be my wife. And 8 years later, nearly of marriage, we have now 4 children.
I've heard you on the phone. It's amazing. Really, really amazing. I'd just like to congratulate you.
Thank you.
Both and your kids. That is a great parent.
Thank you.